earlier we were talking about relationships, and you were talking about how women are oftentimes attracted to narcissists. And you said something that I never heard before. What were you saying again about that?
Anytime a woman, first and foremost, having a narcissist attracted to you is not the crime. In many cases, it could be because it's a sign that you're an idol worshiper. But it's being back attracted to them is when you return the attraction. Amos 3:3 says, can two walk together except they be agreed? So if you happen to be a narcissist magnet and you're getting in the relationship with a narcissist, there's an agreement there that has not been dealt with. And so because of that, that indicates that the person is an idol worshiper. They're an idol worshiper. And so because of that, the way the spirit in the narcissist is called Jezebel. That is a Jezebel spirit. The way that Jezebel works is sin. Another word for sin is self-worship. And so it's me constantly giving myself what I want because I'm worshiping me. I didn't put God as the head. I become my head. I become my idol.
And anybody can fall into that.
Right. Most people do. Most Christians, especially in the Western world, are polytheistic. They don't know it. They worship themselves. They worship how they feel. They put their emotions first. That's the reason why they can cuss people out and not thinking nothing of it. They can go into a church and get mad and go up against leadership and not think of it. They don't like order. But most people are polytheistic, but the first God that they have is self. The first God they have is self. So this is how narcissism works. When your first God is self, what you end up doing is you're always trying to give yourself what you want. You're always trying to give yourself what you feel. Well, somebody comes along and Jezebel knows that you worship yourself. This is what she did with Ahab. Ahab set up and said, I want Naboth's vineyard. And she said, okay, I'll go get it for you. And so with it, when you deal with the narcissist, they have this thing called love bombing. All that is praise. You're worshiping yourself and they come along and they praise you with you. They start to praise you. Praise you were the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm in love with you. I can't stop thinking about you. You're my everything. You're my world. I'll never leave you. Oh my gosh, what have you done to me? They start praising you. And the human cannot handle praise. We can't handle it. So we get drunk off of it. We get drunk. And so next thing you know, we keep getting drunk and then we become praiseaholics. Like we need that praise. It's like an alcoholic. I need more praise from you. I need more praise from you. Well, they get you addicted because the demon in there becomes your dealer. And so it's got to get you addicted on it first, right? It gets you addicted. Once it gets you addicted, then you come back and you're like, eventually the narcissist, after they've praised you for so long, that demon in them, it starts to pull back. Because this is the thing. This is how it gets you to praise it. So first it praises you. It gets you addicted. So you get every morning the good morning text, every afternoon, this, all of that. I want to be with you today, all of that. And then one day they're going to start pulling back. You're going to notice a coldness. You're going to feel it. And you're like, hey, what's going on? And you need your drug. I need my fix. You know, you scratching that bottom lip like I need my fix. And what ends up happening is they start to pull back and you get scared. And you keep on saying, hey, what's going on? They say nothing going on. And it's almost like you got to try to figure it out. And so what happens is what's happening in that moment is if you haven't slept with them, you're going to feel the need to do so. Because instinctively we were created to worship. We know how to worship. We just don't worship. We just don't know that we're supposed to just worship God. We know how to worship. So we realize I got to give something else because I'm starting to lose a connection with this guy. So I got to give my body. So what that demon is now saying after it didn't worship you, it's now give me that worship. Now come give it back. Come, let me see how you worship me. I just got through. I took care of you. You come take care of me.
Oh my God.
You come take care of me. But it's not going to give it back. So now you start praising and praising and praising, and then they'll give you a little bit of praise here and there. They'll give you your drug. They'll give you the stuff you want. Keep you coming back, right? They're going to hold on to you, what have you. But then demons can never really truly be satisfied because they're going to look at your worship and they're going to say, at some point, yeah, I'm getting bored with that. I'm getting bored with all this stuff you're doing in the bedroom. I'm getting bored with this. I'm getting bored with that. I need more. So then you're going to find yourself doing more. I always say the first thing that people do, because we know how to worship, because I've been on the other end of this many times, where a female, I'm going to show you a science, what a lot of women do, because a lot of women are caught up in this. What they'll do is they'll come into your life and they'll be like, I love you, sis. I thank God for you. All that want to be hip huggers. They want to be your best friends. They want to know everything. Well, they'll get close to you and they'll keep you around, but really they're just filling the seat because they don't have a man. That's all you is a seat warmer for that man. All you are is a seat warmer for that man. And so they'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to help you out. They will give you everything. They'd be like, I love God. I was telling everybody, I thank God for you, this, that. But God told me that's the fatted calf effect. They're fattening up the calf for the sacrifice. Because once you get with the narcissist, you're going to have to give up sacrifice. When you give up your body, you might have to give up your pastor. You have to give, he going to complain about their church. Then he going to complain about the fact that he ain't the father of your kids. And so now you're going to have to give up the kids. Whether you're going to have to let him whoop the kids or whatever, you're going to have to give up something. And then he complains about your friends. Well, most women are going to fight a little bit, or most men are going to fight a little bit, but slowly but surely they're going to keep on giving up stuff because we know how to worship. We always know when we're coming to an altar. So it's time for me to give a sacrifice. So that's why when you come across a woman, I tell women this all the time. When you come across a woman that's a hip hugger, you are the calf. She going to fatten you up. But as soon as that man come, and that man, she'll stick with you through other relationships. But once she get the one that she wants, the one she idolizes, once she gets the Jezebel that outranks the Jezebel in her, or outranks the demon in her, or outranks the Ahab in her, once she gets something on that level and he want her back, or he act like he want her back, you're in line to be the fatted calf. So the first thing she's gonna do is praise you in front of him. I gotta tell you about my sister Tiffany. She's my best friend. I love her. Oh my gosh, all that. What she's doing is she's basically giving him a menu. Here are all my idols. Here are all the people I got in my life that I feel like are great, to me. But then eventually, when he starts to complain or he starts to pull back, you're going to be the sacrifice.
I have never heard anything like this.
I've lived it plenty of times.
Is this in any of your books?
I think so. My latest book, The Before and After Taste of Deliverance, which we hit the bestsellers list, by the way. It's 2 books. Yes. Thank you.
And it's 70, was it 70 books now?
I'm 66 books in, I think 66 or 67 books in. I'll be 70 by the end of this year. If it's not in the Before and After Taste of Deliverance, it's in the book I got coming out called Jezebel and the Prophet.
Listen, see, what's going to happen is people are going to be mad, like, we need part 1, 2, 3,
Let's go.
4, 5, 6.
Let's go.
Ma'am, it's so much. I like, literally, this is off script. Like, it's so much for me to digest. I'm just listening like, oh my gosh. But this, you know what this does for me? This is equipping. This equips, this empowers. There's so much strength in this because it positions me to be able to see the enemy as clear as day and be able to call it out and recognize it and stand firm. And what you're saying is, I love what you're saying, because some people might say, it's not that deep. Okay, yeah, okay, I can't get it, man. I got a spirit husband. I see, whatever the case may be. It's not that deep. But you're showing, from the idolatry to actively feeding demons, sin offering, all of those things. It is that deep.
It is that deep. And I hate it when a woman or a man has a spirit spouse and they don't do nothing about it. Because the spirit spouse will kill their spouse if it can. It'll kill off any person in a relationship with. When I was living in Mississippi, they had this thing called white liver. And what that meant is they would say a woman had a white liver if she's had at least 3 lovers that have died after getting with her. That's a spirit spouse.
So multiple people have had that?
Yeah. The spirit spouse is one of the most common demons undetected in the United States of America. Women have, and the women have it and men have it. They can have a spirit spouse. Well, a spirit spouse will kill off your spouse if they can. They can't. The Bible says Satan goes about seeking whom he may devour. So he can't devour everybody. But sometimes they can attack. They can attack, for example, your finances, where you can't get a job. After you start dating this woman, you cannot get a job. Every job you get, every opportunity, your life just begins to dry up. They start having dreams that somebody's chasing them with a knife or a sword or something like that, saying, stay away from my wife, or what have you. Those are signs that she may have a spirit spouse, something. All of a sudden they start dealing with health issues. I can name celebrities that I was like, he died after he married her. I hate to say this, but even, what's his name, played on the Black Panther?
Yes.
Chad Boseman, yeah. And I'm not going to say that she had it, because he could have been the one that had a spirit spouse. But he had been with her for all these years, and then he get married. Spirit spouses are very jealous. They see that as their spouse. And so typically I go into investigative mode if I hear somebody get married and then there's the person dies. The other person that dies. I said either that person had a spirit spouse or their spouse had a spirit spouse. One or the other had a spirit spouse. That's not true in 100% of the cases, but it is true in many cases. It's common in many cases. I think he had a cancer, and I started investigating. And I don't remember what I came up with, but I was like, did he have that before he got with her? Because that's what spirit spouses do. If he had one, it would have got jealous. It would have got mad when he got into a relationship and got serious. Spirit spouses don't mind you being promiscuous. They mind you getting serious because they see you as their property.